FS, J&J Fencing, Kaufman Realty and Auctions, Matt Corso Realtor Auctioneer, Jeremy Pyatt Realtor Auctioneer, Christian County Farm Bureau, Hamlin Jones Excavating and Drainage, Ayers Bank in Moweaqua, First National Bank of Taylorville, and Harlow Industrial Services.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. The Taylorville School Board met for its regular monthly meeting and approved the exterior design of the new Taylorville High School Fine Arts Center. Other discussions included new business, overnight trips for the THS FFA and THS Student Council, honoring the staff retiring at the end of this year, and updates on the elementary school handbook. Originally, there were only two options for the exterior design of the new Fine Arts Center. However, some of the board members wanted to see a third choice. Once the architects of Graham and Hyde presented a third design option, the board reviewed the new design and ended up choosing the newest option. The changes were brought up by school board member Dr. Ronald Miser, who said he would only change the exit-only doors to blend in a little bit better and to be less obvious.
I certainly like the third option. The only thing I see on the third option and I would like to see changed a little bit, I like those doors to be kind of downplayed a little bit.
The same color as
It's
just the coloration.
Get the coloring blended
See
in
the
a little
two
bit better.
exit only doors?
Yeah.
He would like those to be the color of the fake windows above. So there's
Yeah, so
absolutely no big
they're
deal.
not so obvious, yeah.
We could approve this and.
Yeah,
go
I
with it.
would certainly make a motion we approve that. I love the looks of that third one.
Make your motion. Let's
I'll make the
go.
motion.
Okay.
We'll take C.
May I have a second?
I'll second option C.
Roll call when you're ready.
Mrs. Belcher,
Yes.
Mrs. Bowser,
Yes.
Mr. Finks,
Yes.
Mrs. Mickey,
Yes.
Mrs. Winkle,
Yes.
Dr. Miser,
Yes.
Mrs. Chandler.
Yes, motion carries 7-0.
As you heard there, the board chose option C with a unanimous vote. Under new business, the school board made a unanimous vote to spend funds between July and the annual budget adoption in September. Taylorville School Superintendent Brandy Bruley explained how the budget works by breaking down the different categories within the budget and where each expenditure will fall in those categories.
Fund 10 is your ed fund, 20 is your building maintenance, 30 is your debt. Those are our bonds that we have out for projects that are going on. Transportation is 40, and then I won't talk about 50. Capital projects is 60, which is, remember, when we use alternative revenue money, you can only put that money into Fund 30 for bonds for your projects, or Fund 60 for other capital projects you have going on. Working cash, we have that bond also in 70 this year that was approved. Tort immunity, that's your legal services and your insurance. And then fire prevention and safety is 90. So that's just a review. When I say funds, you'll remember what those are.
The board voted to spend the funds with no opposition. Also under new business was the reading and approval of the press policy and the approval of athletic fees, which were approved 7-0 as well. A highlight of the night was also the honoring of the faculty who are retiring this year. Superintendent Brandy Bruley called the retirees up and presented each one with a parting gift. You can hear the audio of this portion of the meeting in this story on our website, TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. The superintendent's report, treasurer's report, and IASB talking points were also presented at the monthly meeting. The Taylorville Police Department received a call yesterday morning in regard to a local business getting vandalized. Taylorville Police Chief Dwayne Wheeler spoke to the Hart Media Group about it. He said someone hung a deceased fish on the window of the new Alpha 5 tattoo parlor located at 100 South Main in Taylorville.
I had a call this morning at 101 East Main, that new tattoo studio, and what happened. And basically, someone, she thinks it's personal, which we're investigating now, they hung a dead fish, down her window area. And she believes that, this has something to do with her or her business, and she wants it investigated. But it happened sometime last night.
The Taylorville Police Department also has reasonable suspicion that this was a targeted act. However, the investigation is still ongoing. If you have any information on the crime, please contact the Taylorville Police Department by calling 217-824-2211 or stop by the police department at 108 West Vine Street in Taylorville. The Taylorville Police Department will soon have full surveillance coverage as the Taylorville Police Department the Taylorville Square will soon have full surveillance coverage as the Taylorville Police Department has now installed one of 2 total surveillance cameras to monitor the square. The Hart Media Group spoke with Taylorville Police Chief Dwayne Wheeler about the new camera that is already installed on the square, what having surveillance on the town square could do for the community, as well as some of the community's reaction to the new cameras. Chief Wheeler said that the already installed camera has caused some community members to feel as though their privacy is being invaded. The chief said they are following the rules of camera use and keeping the view only on public grounds, reassuring the community that they are not looking into any private spaces.
This is a great deterrent for crime. People see the camera. We do have signs that are going up below the camera to show that, under police surveillance, this is, directed to, the public streets and public sidewalks. I've seen comments that were violating people's privacy. That is not true. We're following the rule of law. The statute is very clear. Okay, it's just like a camera at your house. If you have a camera at your house pointing down your driveway onto a public street, and by chance you could see your across the street neighbor's living room, which we've had calls about, they have no expectation of privacy at that point. I mean, the guy or that resident across the street can't have that camera. Now, you cannot focus a camera into someone's personal dwelling. And that's when you could run into issues.
According to Chief Wheeler, what motivated the TPD to install these cameras was both community concern and specific situations that they have already dealt with in the past. The chief also said that these cameras would provide sufficient evidence for retail theft that happens on the square, and the second camera would allow for full coverage. And now a word from Taylorville Community Credit Union.
Looking to save more and stress less? This is Will Perkins. At Taylorville Community Credit Union, we're here to help you build a stronger financial future with great loan and deposit rates, convenient locations, and service from people you know and trust. We're member-owned, member-focused, and proud to serve anyone who lives or works in Christian, Montgomery, or Shelby counties. Discover the credit union difference. TCCU is your partner in financial success. Member NCUA.
The Lincoln Prairie Trails Conservancy met at the City Council chambers in Taylorville on Tuesday night to discuss a safe bike route through Taylorville. The group had 2 different routes that they were debating between, mostly involving or including Main Cross or Franklin. Ultimately, the group agreed it was probably best to avoid Main Cross. Group Chair Steve Dennis says that a route through town would not only help residents navigate the route safely, but could benefit when applying for future grants.
We can look at developing additional routes to connect destinations in the different town or different parks, schools, grocery stores, shopping, restaurants, healthcare, and so on. Another future phase would be to demonstrate a commitment to expanding the trail to Edinburgh and to Rochester. So having this first phase is key for us to be able to then look at trying to get a future project. There's information that's contained in this that will also help us with potential grant applications, because you're talking about how many trail users you have, and some grants require that. And as a more longer term phase, we could also look at developing safe routes to additional Christian County communities. So we can connect small towns using what they call low volume roads, so back roads.
Dennis says that Phase 1 will connect Paw Paw to Route 104 and 129. Dennis explained the route that includes parts of Franklin and Silver Street.
So you start at Paw Paw, and you're going to turn left, and you go down to Franklin Street. From Franklin, you go all the way up to Cherokee. You would then turn right on Cherokee, and you're going to go up to Market. So one question would be is, well, why not just go straight ahead on Franklin? Well, those are brick roads. And so we're trying to minimize the amount of brick roads that we're out there on. So you come up, you go right on Cherokee, and you go to Market, turn left on Market, and you go down to Walnut. Those are asphalt paved roads. Turn left on Walnut, you're going to go back down to Franklin, and then you turn right on Franklin, and you go west all the way to Cheney. Now you have 2 blocks right there by the Presbyterian Church, and the next block behind the parking lot of US Bank. Those are mostly brick, but there is some concrete that's poured along there for parking. Okay. Like I said, you go from Franklin all the way to Cheney. You then turn right on Cheney, and you're going to go, I forget if it's 1 block or 2 blocks, up to West Main Cross. And then you'd make another left, and you're going to go to Silver Street. It's about a block. And then you can take Silver Street all the way north to West State Street, and that's up by the concrete plant.
The safe route expenditures would include signs and possibly road paint.
So this would, if we did this, the cost for the city, or the cost for the project, I should say, we don't know where the funding's going to come from yet, but would be the signs. There would be approximately 60 signs that would be included in the first candidate, because you've got both the bike and the directional. And so we have some posts up already along the way. So it's not, some posts would have to be purchased. You'd have that. If we decided to put paint on the pavement, we'd have to get the stencil and do that. But I know it's a little hard to visualize from this. I've got this big map up here that you can follow along, but what it does is it brings us within a block of the square on several different spots. Okay. And so for future, then when we do the various upgrades, like with the square and things, there's going to be bike racks available. We could put bike racks in some of the city parking lots, perhaps, or maybe a business might want to have a bike rack.
The measure now heads to the street department. And now a word from Heartland Bank and Trust.
Your son was 3 when you planted that tree in your backyard. Now he's grown, planting seeds and making memories with his own kids. Let Heartland Bank help you grow more memories with banking options for every stage of your life. Welcome, former CNB customers. We're your community bank. Heartland Bank. We build relationships that nurture and grow your dreams. Visit us today at hbtbank.com, member FDIC.
Residents in Taylorville will have an opportunity to get rid of unwanted household items later this month as the city hosts its annual cleanup day. City officials announced that free dumping will be available this Saturday at the street department at 205 North Cherokee Street. The event will run from 7 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, or until dumpsters reach capacity. The initiative is designed to help residents clear out clutter while promoting a cleaner community. Volunteers will be on site throughout the day to assist participants and help keep operations running smoothly. Residents planning to take part should be prepared to show proof of residency within Taylorville city limits before disposing of any items. For information on Cleanup Day, you can reach out to the street department by calling 217-824-2559 or go online to taylorville.net. Get local news anytime at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and every hour as well right here on WTIM, your only local news radio.
This is Blaine Cornwell with Prairie State Insurance. Life can be complicated.